We have a new fusion coming our way, and the question is it one that you're gonna go for? And honestly, is it one that I'm gonna try to get? For today's video, I'm gonna look at this champion, break down his skills, and see how he might fit into my own roster. Hey you guys, it's Cece. Welcome back to my channel. As I mentioned, we have a new fusion who is Ishiyama the Immovable, and he is a legendary HP spirit type who is actually a part of the Shadowkin faction, which is quickly becoming my favorite. But the question is, what are his skills, what does he do, and what is going to make him worth it for us to go for him? I will admit this champion does look pretty cool. So his skill 1, Burning Comet, attacks one enemy 2 times, but each hit transfers a random debuff from this champion to the target. If the champion is under any debuffs when attacked, it's going to counterattack with this skill. I do like the fact that he actually is going to be able to take those debuffs off him and transfer them over. It's actually pretty cool. And I like the fact that if he's under debuffs, he's going to counterattack. So if he gets debuffed and then counters, it's going to transfer the random debuff. So I see some potential there with that skill 1 actually. His second skill, Calculated Volley, attacks all enemies, which has a 75% chance of placing a fear debuff, 25% decreased crit damage debuff, and 30% decreased crit rate debuff on all enemies for 2 turns. These debuffs cannot be resisted by enemies who are under 2 or more debuffs. So we want to be sure to actually place debuffs on them so that we can add even more of those debuffs essentially. With his skill 3, Finish Them, attacks one enemy, it will ignore 25% of the target's defense, will ignore 50% of the target's defense instead, if the target is under 2 or more debuffs. So again, we're essentially just really wanting to get debuffs onto our target so that we can make the most of this champion. He's going to place a block damage buff on this champion for 2 turns if this attack kills an enemy. Okay. And then he does have a passive. Whenever an enemy resists a debuff placed by this champion, the next debuff placed by this champion cannot be resisted. Oh, okay, hold on. Each debuff placed by this champion increases their max HP by 3%, which stacks up to 30%. Okay, the passive is actually kind of cool because essentially it's saying like if you resist it, then the next one's not going to be resisted. So that actually does kind of work with his whole kit. And I'll be honest, this is one of those champs that they've brought in that all the skills really do actually work pretty well together. But I guess the question is going to be, where does he really fit into a team and where is he going to be useful? Anytime a new champ is coming into the game, especially being somebody like a fusion, my first thought is always going to be faction wars, because I am slowly building out my team, still figuring out who is good where. So anytime there's a new champ, especially one that is going to be a fusion or when you get free, I'm like, yeah, faction wars, because I have not finished mine. I am that player that is still going through this. So that's always kind of in the back of my mind. How can I get one step closer to Lydia? Is this champ really going to help me out here? So that's my perspective, of course, being that early, I'm just going to say early game player, not even mid game, still early. So if you are somebody who's already completed all of this, then that's probably the back of your mind until they introduced Faction Wars hard mode. We have little information on this. They've given us the teaser and really told us, oh, there's going to be certain criteria for you to meet. It's no longer just coming into here as long as it's orc crypt. I can place them. They work. Let's go ahead, start there. That's it. Now there's going to be other little criteria to follow with hard mode from what we know. And that's probably where other people are thinking champs and being like, okay, so we have a new champ coming into the game. He is a part of the Shadowkin crypt. Now, is this a champ that is really going to help me out here? Is a champ that I can use for hard mode? So until hard mode really comes out, I think it's one of those questions that's kind of going to be up in the air for all of us. But for myself, considering this champ, one of the places I'm definitely thinking about using them is going to be Faction Wars and how he may potentially be able to help me out here. So the next thing that I need to do is actually go ahead and check who do I have in this faction. So down in the Shadowkin, I do have 18 champs, and honestly, compared to the rest of them, on the lower side, I would say. Compared to the rest, it is on the lower side, especially considering who I am working with in here. So let's see. Obviously, I have no mythical. Lady Mikage, when will you come? Oh, 3 champs, guys. 3 champs away. I actually did recently make a video on Lady Mikage talking about her soulstone. So check it out if you're curious how far away I am actually from her video. And be sure you subscribe because one day I will get her. So going into my next champs, I do have Yoshi. I haven't built him. I have him. He's sitting there. Haven't put any stuff on him. Haven't built him. Haven't ascended him. And part of that is like, he's not very good, you guys. He's okay. I guess for Faction Wars, something that's useful for me. So really the one and only legendary I actually have in here. Next is going to be the epics. Have Taragi. Actually love Taragi. He is a great champ. This is just apparently not going to show us Taragi. Oh, there he is. Okay. Have him, love him, great champ. I do need to actually put probably better gear on him. So that's one. Recently got Hotatsu, who some of you guys were actually saying is pretty good. So one that I should consider building, which like I'm talking like literally like this week got this champ. So one else to build. Don't know when I pulled you, but also kind of worth building. So I would say like I have a decent amount of champs within here, and some that you guys have actually said is like good, worth building, at least enough for faction wars and potentially for something else this game. So for myself, looking at what I have, I feel like I have a decent amount, and I mean with their skills, like I have an HP type here, places some poison. If I do decide to actually build Yoshi, it's got some stun, so we have some crowd control, the HP burn in there, a little bit of buffing as well, so another good supportive unit. And then if we're going down to Hatatsu, so being a defense, so we have the leech in here, a decreased attack, we have a heal going on all allies, so another kind of supportive champ in here. The question is, I kind of need someone that does damage. So this is one that I could build for damage because, I mean, the new type we're getting is also an H type, right? But looking at his skills, I could see where he may fit into Shadowkin here. Another support unit here. But this one teams up with a random ally, so this can potentially bring along my damage dealer. So honestly, you guys, I feel like I have a pretty decent roster to actually be able to do, like, not too bad in Shadowkin. And you know what? Honestly, potentially maybe even be able to eventually complete it when I do have better gear on them. So I don't necessarily know if this is going to be something that's going to push me into wanting to get this fusion, or if I feel like I am strongly lacking this champ. I think it also makes sense to actually look at my champions, look at my legendaries, and see where he fits into this. So I actually started the game out with some legendaries, which you guys can too. If you download the game using my link, click the link down in the description box or scan the QR code on the screen. As a new player, you get yourself Elenaril on day 1. She honestly helped me fly through the campaign and be able to do some dungeons. You can also enter a new player code. Now, I picked the code MONKEYKING to get myself Sun Wukong, but there are a few other codes that you can enter out there that are going to get you a few different champions. He's just the one that I went for. So maybe you want to use the code GETLOKI to get Loki, or GETALICE for Alice, or maybe you want Supreme Galek, which the code is going to be Supreme 6. And there is a new code TREEHUGGER to get yourself Greenwarden. So any of those will get you a champion. So that's 2 legendaries right there. And then I also got lucky in actually being able to pull some really good champions who have also been incredibly helpful for me and my journey. So looking at HP types, if I actually want to filter out and see maybe who do I have as an HP, then essentially this is what I'm looking at. So I do have Sir Nicholas, and then I have Deliana, and that's it for my legendaries actually. So adding in another HP type, I mean, it is kind of enticing to want to do that. Now, if I actually narrow this down even further and then go HP, and then we go into our faction, it's Taragi, who I pretty much have here built, ready to use. Anybody else I think is really going to be in my vault. So I would need to actually build more out because I really only have one champ that fills both those roles. Now, who do I have built that is just be in Shadowkin? It's still just Taragi, you guys. And I don't even think he's fully built. If I look, oh, I do actually have gear on him, but I need to ascend him a little bit more, put a relic on him. I don't have him booked. I don't even have masteries on him, so I really do need to get that going. And then I mentioned Yoshi to you guys as well. So you'll see all I've really done is put him up to 50. And that is as far as I've really gotten with this champion. So again, it is kind of enticing for me because he may actually fill those roles pretty well. And I mean, it doesn't hurt to actually get some more legendaries. If you download Raid Shadow Legends using my link, I'm actually going to start you off with the free legendary champion on day 1. And then at level 10, level 20, and level 30, you'll get yourself an epic. That is 4 amazing champions that you can get just by downloading using my link. So I'm not gonna lie, I am enticed by this fusion. He is a fragment fusion, which means there is going to be events and tournaments happening to be able to get enough fragments to actually go ahead and go for him. So it is something that I'm going to be thinking about, but I want to hear from you guys. Comment down below, let me know, is this a fusion that you guys are going to be going for? And be sure that you subscribe so that you're able to see if I do in fact go ahead and grab this fusion.